Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West
I think
Texas.
hard work ultimately prevails, and you do get what you want, and you do, have these amazing milestones in your career and your business.
From a food truck to the food court. In just a few minutes, we take a look at some spicy wings that are now available at Music City Mall. We have the full story coming up on CBS7 News at 9. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Mary Kate Hamilton. We start tonight with the story you'll only see on CBS7. 64 Chinese refugees can now call the Permian Basin their new home. These men, women, and children have been trying to come to America for the last 4 years. After battling what they say was religious persecution from the Chinese government, now they're in the land of oil and gas, ready to start a new life. CBS 7's Noe Ortega met with the pastor for the Mayflower Church in China and Mission Messiah in Odessa about this long-awaited journey. Noe?
In October of 2019, the pastor of the Mayflower Church in China, as well as the rest of the members, decided to flee their country because of religious persecution. This led them to flee to Jeju Island in South Korea. While they were in South Korea, they applied for asylum, but the Korean government denied their request. Then they migrated to Thailand, where their chances to seek asylum seemed impossible.
On March 30th this year, we were suddenly arrested by the Thai authorities. We were handed over, expelled back to the Chinese Communist Party's prison.
At this time, Pastor Pan and the members of the church believed it was the end of their journey. The children were separated from their parents, and some of the members of the congregation lost faith. However, a miracle occurred while in a Thailand prison.
Then at that time, the U.S. government intervened. We were granted humanitarian parole legally into the United States later on.
The approval of their asylum came on April 7th of last year, which was also Good Friday, something that the leader of Mission Messiah believes was a sign from the powers that be.
The heart, the desire within us that we believe the Lord had placed was to help people find freedom.
Barry Hill, just like many other members of their mission, have been waiting for a long time to meet these refugees in person.
I have spent many nights in the middle of the night. God would wake me to pray for your safety.
Even though these refugees were in different countries, the Chinese government was always around.
When we were in Thailand, actually, we also live under the shadow of the Chinese secret spies, agents, and the threats over there.
Even when they arrived at Dallas-Fort Worth, some of the Chinese refugees asked if they were still being followed.
Because the past nearly 4 years, constantly live under the tremendous fear and suppression.
Now that they are legal residents, they have the liberty to do what they want. Pastor Pan wants to help the people who are also being persecuted because of their religious beliefs. With the help of Mission Messiah, China Aid, Freedom Seekers International, and many more, they believe it's possible.
And one of my desires, I believe right now, that we've already begun talking about, just exactly what we might be able to create for these families to engage in, to provide a service in our community.
Thank you, Noe. Turning now to some local politics. Today, the city of Odessa took time to look back on 2023 and discuss goals for 2024. Mayor Hoven compared 2023 to being a sailor. The still water was nice and the rough patches were necessary. That's what he said. Going into the new year, he wants the city to get back to the basics. Hoven's top 3 objectives for the year are to maintain the zero-based budget the city recently established, perform an audit on all personnel and departments in the city to find gaps and deficiencies, and continue to communicate with and listen to the citizens of Odessa. He says all of this is to prioritize what he describes as the 5 pillars of local government.
Police, fire, water, sewer, and roads, and that's what everybody wants. If it's not coming over to through the city council is not going to promote the 5 pillars of the basics, we're not going to enter into them.
Hovind says much of the success in supporting the 5 pillars will come from a successful audit. The audits will be performed by a task force recently set up by Odessa City Manager John Beckmeyer.
I don't especially want somebody to be able to say, wow, look what the task force has done as far as cutting staff in one area or saving money in another area. But whenever they see that their trash is being picked up, their water's being delivered.
Mayor Hovind tells CBS7 there are some exciting things happening this summer, but he's not allowed to talk about them at this time due to non-disclosure agreements. And across the nation, lawmakers return from the holiday break with a list of New Year's resolutions to tackle. Migration at the southern border appears to have reached a new record. Ukraine and Israel are desperate for funding, and another government shutdown could be looming, as Amy Kiley reports.
The U.S. is ringing in the new year with migration and funding concerns threatening to explode.
When you're talking about 10% of the budget to allocate for cities on this, that's unsustainable.
Preliminary government numbers show record migration at the southern border in December. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says his state can't handle the surge, so he's sending migrants north.
They're being told that they are in the city of Chicago, literally dropped off in the middle of nowhere. I find that to be inhumane and unconscionable.
Likely, we will see more people die as a result of the inability of governments to really address the humanitarian needs.
In Congress, both parties say they want to address the border crisis, but Republicans say it has to come first. That leaves Ukraine and Israel desperate for aid as they grapple with new casualties and destruction, some just hours into the new year.
I cannot come back to South Carolina and talk about giving aid to Ukraine and Israel if the border is still broken.
And that's not the only budgetary battle awaiting lawmakers after the holiday recess. The federal government is running on stopgap funding. Without a deal, it could shut down in about a month. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
All right, it's time now to take a look at our weather forecast. It is a chilly end to the first day of 2024, and this week sets the tone. Tom?
Yeah, it looks like more chilly weather is on the way. Definitely January weather when it comes to temperatures. Might see something fall out of the sky in the way of some light rain as we have this next upper level disturbance and storm system trying to move in. The high clouds are already here across the area and expecting these clouds to thicken up into the overnight hours as we take a look at our live iCam in Odessa. It is chilly out there. We're looking at the community Christmas tree there where temperatures are at 43 degrees, 42 over towards Midland out the airport, but already some 30s. Andrews, Big Spring, Hobbs, 37 in the Alpine area. Now we are going to be looking at storm system number 1 overnight tonight, bringing the possibility of a shower or two, some areas of light rain into the forecast, but not a lot in the way of measurable precipitation. Another one later this week as temperatures stay chilly.
We have the hottest wing in West Texas called the, Road to Hell. It was just a hit.
Husband and wife duo Peyton Butler and Brenda Bazan have successfully grown their business over the last 3 years. They've seen success in sharing their fried fare, especially their extra spicy wings. Now, the new year brings a new venue for the pair. Roadside is bringing its burgers and wings courtside, food courtside, that is. They've opened up shop in the Music City Mall food court. While the roadside food truck will still make appearances around Midland, Odessa, the brick and mortar spot gives regulars a place to go and more exposure for the business. That's what Butler has seen since the food court location opened just a week ago.
Oh, it's been great. Our regulars have all of our regulars came out. Insane support from everybody. We got I think we got like 130 shares on one of our posts, more than we've ever had before. The community has really came out, and the reviews on Facebook have been very nice. We appreciate everything, y'all.
The restaurant serves up burgers, wings, and fries, but its claim to fame is a super spicy wing sauce created by Butler's grandmother. Butler and his wife say customers call it the hottest wing in West Texas. With this brick and mortar spot, they hope to grow and share more of that spicy experience. Midland Memorial Hospital has welcomed its first baby born in 2024. Damian Lujan was born just after 6 this morning. Take a look. The family will get a gift basket of baby soap, bibs, books, pacifiers, toys, and gift cards. And the mom will get a postpartum counseling session for free. The hospital, and of course all of us here, welcome baby Damian to West Texas. And just a few hours later, right after 8 a.m., Medical Center Hospital welcomed its first baby in 2024, Dawson Garvin. The family was gifted a lot of needs, including wipes, swaddles, and a pack and play. Congratulations from MCH and, of course, all of us. Now that 2024 has come, the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo is gearing up for a historic year. While the rodeo is part of the big event, the stock show also draws a crowd. Exhibitors from all around will compete in the livestock shows. We spoke to the vice president about why it's one of a kind.
Well, this is the only stock show in the state of Texas and pretty well in the nation that only has Hereford cattle. All the other shows have crossbred cattle, but this is only Hereford cattle. It's a unique deal because it just recognizes the one breed.
For all of our interviews previewing the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo, and for ticket information, go to our website, CBS7.com. And CBS7 First Alert News will broadcast live from the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo. Our crew will be out there this Thursday for CBS7 News at 5 and 6 at the Coliseum grounds. Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. See all of these stories and more, just download our app or go to our website, CBS7.com. And still ahead, search and rescue operations are underway after a 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck western Japan. We have the story on this coming up next at 9. At least 1,000 Japanese Self-Defense Forces personnel are on the job, 8,500 more on standby, helping to search, rescue, and clean up from a powerful earthquake in western Japan. Local authorities say Monday's 7.5 magnitude quake is already blamed for killing at least 4 people, while dozens of aftershocks continue to rattle the region. Emily Schmidt has more on the work that's now underway.
On a day the calendar turned to a new year, western Japan felt the earth move with it. This woman said, "My city is in a terrible situation with fears things could get worse." The earthquake had a depth of about 6 miles, triggering tsunami warnings along the west coast. Eventually, the warnings were canceled as the threat of larger waves passed, though advisories continued for western Japan, a region unaccustomed to this level of disruption.
People there have felt earthquakes probably over the years, but this is, to my knowledge, the biggest earthquake by far. So people don't have experience with an earthquake this size.
Cameras captured what it looked like, felt like, as the 7.5 magnitude earthquake hit around 4 in the afternoon on a holiday. How people ducked for cover and couldn't quite believe their eyes in the moment. Next challenge, assessing the damage. At least 33,000 homes without power. About 1,400 passengers stranded on bullet trains brought to a standstill. All while roads are damaged, buildings collapsed. U.S. President Joe Biden said in a statement, the U.S. stands ready to provide any necessary assistance to Japan and to its people who have weathered more than 30 aftershocks, with more likely.
I would be concerned about it having significant aftershocks over the coming months or even another year.
A year of potential reminders of what happened this first day of January. Emily Schmidt, CBS 7 First Alert News.
After being stationary for more than 11 hours, 2 trains arrived at a train station in Japan at 4 a.m. local time Tuesday. Another 2 trains traveling in the opposite direction arrived at another station.
Well, back home in West Texas, a quiet evening out there as the clouds are on the increase, all associated with the first storm system of 2024. We'll talk about what it's going to do to the forecast overnight up next.
Now, from the CBS 7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, let's take a look outside at Starbright Village, wrapping up for 2023-24 Christmas season out there. Tonight's the last night. And McKinney Park right now, a chilly 43 degrees as things are about to close down for the year, but it was a good time and lots of beautiful sights out there at Starbright Village. We're seeing lots of high clouds start to roll into West Texas, all associated with the next storm system that's starting to rotate into portions of Arizona and New Mexico. We're going to see that roll across overnight tonight, early into the morning hours, and as that happens, it could put a shower, some areas of light rain in the forecast, but right now the system's kind of moisture starved once it gets to West Texas, so we're not expecting a lot out of this system as it starts to move in with a few sprinkles around Silver City, back into the boot heel of New Mexico there. This is moving off to the east towards El Paso. So again, wouldn't be surprised to see a few sprinkles associated with it, some areas of light rain, maybe a couple of snowflakes across the Guadalupe is really about it, though. As across the state, we've seen that front roll through most areas. That's really cutting us off from a lot of moisture, and that's going to limit what this system does. It was cold across the state with 47 degrees in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I should say the northern half of the state, because some areas like Corpus Christi, Presidio, lower 70s this afternoon. And as we take it to the West Texas Futurecast, showing you the clouds thicking up quite a bit, but this model and myself are not impressed with the moisture level, so not expecting a lot out of this. Maybe some pockets of light rain, maybe a shower, and again, extreme northern Permian Basin, northern Lee County, into the Guadalupes. Again, that's where we may see a snowflake mix in with some of the areas of light rain, but you see, with the better moisture over across portions of central and east Texas, that's where we're going to see the bulk of the shower activity as we move in towards the next 24 hours. So the rest of tonight, clouds increasing, temperatures dropping down into the mid to lower 30s, it looks like, by the morning hours. And again, we may wake up to a few sprinkles, some areas of light rain, especially southeast of Mexico. Probably be the best bet for that. Another system on the way Thursday night into Friday will also have a chance of rain with it as temperatures stay on the cool to chilly side. It looks like into the weekend, as nighttime lows will be rather cold out there across the area. But again, these two systems not equaling a lot of rain, but at least it's something for the start of 2024.
Well, if your New Year's resolution was to strike it rich, tonight's Powerball jackpot could be your chance. We've got a look at the rush to buy tickets next at 9. Tonight's Powerball jackpot stands at about $810 million after Saturday's drawing failed to turn up a big winner. CBS News correspondent Michael George reports lottery players are hoping to defy the odds and kick off 2024 with a major windfall.
Around the country, the first Powerball jackpot of the new year is generating hope and excitement.
I bought 3 of them just now, and I bought 3 last night.
Monday night's drawing is prompting people to head out on New Year's Day to buy a ticket, or several, for the very remote chance they'll win one of the largest jackpots in Powerball history. Some players already have a plan of action if they win.
First, I will buy $100 million worth of gold.
Well, I have like 50 friends that I want to empower them to start businesses, so I just start giving $1 million away to people.
I would travel the world with my wife and my dog for a couple of years just to kick it off.
Now, no one's won the big prize since last October, when a winning Powerball ticket was sold in Southern California for a jackpot of more than $1.7 billion.
It's just so much disappointment. You get so hyped up.
But even with the winning ticket, Dr. Sanjeev Chopra of Harvard Medical School says happiness can be short-lived.
They splurge. They move into a huge mansion. But after that, they come back to their baseline or they're less happy.
One thing you can bet on, the odds of getting all the numbers right are about 1 in 292 million. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
We will have your numbers from the Powerball drawing tonight at CBS 7 News at 10. Be sure to tune in to see if you've got the winning ticket. Still ahead, the U.S. Census Bureau says the U.S. population could be even bigger in 2024. We have the estimated numbers on CBS 7 News at 9. All right, the U.S. population is starting out the new year slightly larger than 2023. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there were 335,893,238 people in the country at midnight on New Year's Day. That's just over half a percent point increase from New Year's Day 2023. Officials say the combination of births, deaths, and migration will result in a new addition roughly every 24 seconds. The projected world population starts the new year off with just over 8 billion people. How about that?
I remember growing up when it was 4 billion people.
That's crazy.
That's been 40-something years
right,
ago, though.
Right,
so,
I know, but still.
Yeah.
Not that long.
Growing all the time. Well, in our weather, we are looking at the possibility of a few light showers in the forecast overnight tonight, early into Tuesday. But it looks like things will clear out later on in the day. Another system's on the way Thursday into Friday. Could put a few more showers in our forecast, but pretty wintry this week.
All right, bundle up, y'all. Thanks so much for joining us for CBS 7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.